Can you guys remember last season where I gleefully mocked Tottenham for having won the Premier League, they dropped down and they finished 10th? Well, this season, they've got no European football. They are the only team unbeaten in the Premier League, and if you cast your eye towards the top of this Premier League table, we're notably absent. 9th place after 15 games played. If you were thinking after a rough start to the season, things were going to get better, I've got some bad news. They've not been great lately. Now, to be fair, I have got an excuse in early. Alanis broke his back and has been out for 6 weeks during the period between episodes. Of course, Lemos was also injured long term, and with those two players absent, I was desperately hoping that record transfer Paulie Parkin, it was going to be his moment to shine, his time in the spotlight. It's not quite how I imagined it. Today is episode number 130 of Park to Prem. We've got an away day to Norway, lots of football to catch you up on, and we're taking on the old enemy in Arsenal in a must-win league game, which if we don't win, I don't even know if we can have European football next year. It's a biggie. Before we get too far into things today, though, let's find a positive. Cadman's good, isn't he? 14 goals. He's got the most player of the matches, highest average rating, most goals scored. He's just continuing to develop. So for all the negatives, the young players are improving. And in fact, as much as I want to moan about Paul Parkin's performances on the pitch, training ground-wise, he is getting better, and that kind of applies to everyone at the club. This is a young squad. Look at the training ratings. Let's find a positive. I can't really smile about it. And the reason I can't really smile about it is because I've played 2 months of Football Manager since you were last here, and despite winning all but 3 games, the 3 games we've lost have all been in the league, and they've been games which, well, I feel like we would have won, should have won, maybe would have won. In the case of the Wolves game. I hate Wolverhampton Wanderers. Before we go full focus, though, on what's been going wrong in the league, let's find another positive. The Champions League's going great. Against Servette, 7-1 win. Huntjens got 3, Chapman got 3, and after that, wins against Atleti, 1-0, and Ajax, 6-0. Put us in a really good spot where if we beat Rosenborg today, if I'm not mistaken, we're through to the next round. So that's good, right? I mean, we've scored lots. It's been fun. We should be beating Rosenborg. I mean, 6-0 against Ajax. That was fun. Cadman with 2 there. Paulie Parkin did score in that game as well. And for the Carabao enjoyers out there, things are going good in the Carabao Cup. 5-2 win against Man City. Cadman with 2. Diogo Perez scored as well. He is another player who, of course, has been new to the club this year. Didn't really come in with the same level of expectation as some of our other players, which, I mean, maybe that's a good thing, because so far, he's not playing amazing on the pitch. And off the pitch, I suppose, there's been some development. It's not been as bad as it could have been for him. So he scored there in that game against Man City. The other game we had was against Newcastle the round before. Another really, really good result. And in the quarter-final, we've been drawn a very winnable game against Blackburn. So I could be seen drinking cans of Carabao very soon. I've tried to disguise it a little bit. Let's talk about league form. We have played 9 games in the league since you were last here. We've won 66% of those games. Unfortunately, the defeats, not good ones. The first of which, maybe the worst of the bunch, at home against Norwich City. We lost 4-1. We lost 4-1. I want to blame it on the sending off. Deha sent off in the 62nd minute. We were already 3-0 down. At least he was showing some fight. Yeah, this result was the most embarrassing of the defeats. After that result, we got narrow wins against both Brentford and Middlesbrough. Clean sheets are nice to see. Goals from Ethan Chapman as well in both these games, the all-important ones. He's been back in the England squad. To be fair, Chapman's been playing pretty well. When you look at his recent form, can't really knock him. And of the 3 defeats we've had, this one against Liverpool, I feel like is just very unfortunate. We had 3 goals ruled out for offside, and they came back from behind late on. Banza with 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. Lewis Banza here, very, very good at football, the 31-year-old. Elite striker, he showed his quality. Liverpool took all the chances that came their way, and whilst you could look at the XG and the shots and say Liverpool deserved it, perhaps worth reiterating, 3 goals disallowed for offside for us. Of course, none of those chances count towards the XG, because it was offside. If we knew the offside rule, on another day, this is a very different result. In the month of November as well, really good win against Man City. Cadman with 2 goals, Marco Huntjens with another. They did get a goal back, Man City, but we held on for the win. That was all well and good. Unfortunately, against Wolves, we completely bottled it. They scored in the second minute. Coppo sent off after 7 minutes. He's a moron. He's a wazzock. He's a dingus. I hate him. And from there, it was always going to be difficult. 3-0, bit embarrassing. But you know what? Since then, things have got a bit better. The 3 games we've won, mind you, all games that we should be winning. Peterborough, 3-0 home win. Away win against Aston Villa, 4-1. Great result, that one. And most recently, a 4-1 win away against Blackburn. Things you love to see. And, well, with all of that, we sit 9th. We're only 4 points off the Champions League spots, but knowing that we're taking on Arsenal today, another team who have struggled a bit to start the season, if we lose that, all the ground we've made up in the last couple of results it's going to be lost. So we need to win today. I suppose the question is, what do I attribute the poor form to? And I feel like it's easy just to go, well, Alanis has been injured with a broken back, but that obviously has been a massive, massive factor this year. The 20-year-old, 22 games in 33 games. When he has been fit, he's kind of been doing okay. He is our second top goal scorer, despite the fact he's been out for a month and a half. So I feel like that does say a lot. Chapman and Parkin have chipped in with goals, maybe not quite as many as you'd want. Ultimately, I feel like we've been underperforming. Perhaps last year, overperforming has left me a tad deluded. And this year, reality's catching up on us. I do feel like Football Manager is a game of momentum, a game of morale. You can have a slightly below average team, a team that's maybe not as good as teams around you. But if you're winning, if you're doing well, it's nice and easy to keep that momentum going. And sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 slip-ups, bad results, slow starts to the season. It can derail the season quickly. We've experienced that this year, but media prediction of 3rd, Champions League football is not beyond reach, and ultimately, in the Champions League itself, we are still going strong. And like I mentioned already, I do feel like it's really important to reiterate just how young our squad is. For the overperformance last year, it's easy to get carried away. It's easy to think that a lot of these players are the finished article. The reality is that some of the most frequently played players this year have been under the age of 23. The future is bright here. Players are continuing to develop, and I want to believe that this isn't a season that has to be written off just yet. We can get back on the straight and narrow. We can make this into a success. We're still in every single competition. Whether or not we can catch Manchester United, who are 10 points ahead of us, though, that feels a tiny little bit less likely. Let's set some achievable goals today, and that first achievable goal is to beat Rosenborg. The Norwegian champions are a team that have been struggling in the Champions League. Their key man is Anders Einar Lundahl here, who, to be honest, at 19 years old, is quite a good player, really. For his age especially. Question marks over his potential. Not the kind of player we'd be looking to sign, but someone we need to be wary of. We should be beating them, and what makes this game even more exciting is we're heading to Scandinavia. We're heading to Lerkendal, which is in Trondheim, for the match today. Does the stadium look good on the picture? I can't judge it. You know what? We need to do an away day and really properly give it a review. At the risk of sounding like an absolute idiot, no idea where Trondheim is in Norway. And also, Norway, it's quite a big country, isn't it? Usually I kind of scan them up. I might have to cheat here. Is it cheating if I have to go and search it? Trondheim. It's like I'm playing GeoGuessr. Where is Trondheim? I don't know a lot about Norway, but I assume if it's like Finland, which I know a bit more about, a lot of the population is in the south. So I'm going to take a guess Trondheim is in the south somewhere. Trondheim! Maybe Trondheim is just a small place. I'm going to have to cheat. I'm sorry. I'm sure there are people screaming at the top of their lungs, Jack, it's there! Yeah, literally, when you zoom out, it's one of the big places that actually has a name. I'm just blind, everyone. Forgive me. Need new glasses. It doesn't seem like the biggest place in the world, so I feel like we should just be able to spot the stadium, he says as he zooms in on just running tracks. The old enemy of the away day. I'm going to find it. There's a stadium. That's not it. There was another one over here that I spotted. The Lerkendal. This is it. It's got solar panels. Or is it just glass on the roof? I can't tell. This might be a weird analogy. Does it look a little bit alien to anyone else? I don't know if it's kind of the grey roof, the shape, the kind of geometric stuff. It looks a little spaceshipy, like not human. Don't check if the word spaceshipy is a word in the dictionary. It's probably not. I'm going to make sure it gets added. Okay, here we are outside the stadium. It's snowy, unsurprisingly. Also, this footage is from March this year. This is very, very recent. There's the stadium map. We've got the Pepsi Max, the Co-op, the Addresser and the Spare Bank 1. I feel like the stadium and stand name should have better names than that, but there you go. Where you sat today? Oh, Pepsi Max. It's not the Pepsi Max stand, it's just Pepsi Max. They're not even trying to hide the sponsorships. Also, is this just it looks like it's inflated like areas here. I assume this is just like some scaffolding that's been covered. Why does it look like a balloon or something? It looks inflatable. They should build bouncy castles in here and you have to bounce up to your floor. That would be good. Or wait, there's a Domino's pizza connected to the stadium. Some people were sat wondering how long it was going to take me to notice this. You can get Domino's pizza at the stadium. It might be the best away day ever. There's also Friso. Is this... It looks like a hair salon. There can't be a hair salon connected to the stadium. What is Frissor? Answers on a postcard. I think you might be able to get your hair cut and get pizza at the stadium. Now, that was only this side I looked at. Car parking-wise, it's not the strongest car park we've seen, is it? Although they are, they've tried to sneak some in the corners where they can. More local business. Impulse. It looks like a gym to me. Does that look like a gym? Can we look through the window? There's a bike rack outside. It is actually a gym. I'll tell you what, I'm getting good at recognising these away days, I feel like. Can we have a look around this side of the stadium? Is it the same on all sides? Oh, we can get a view of the pitch. I hope they're going to clear it before the game today. There is a main road as well. Can we look at the Pepsi Max stand from behind? Here is the Pepsi Max stand. So this is all very awkward because, Pepsi Max Domino's. Recently gone off Domino's Pizza, and I've always thought that Coke Zero was better than Pepsi Max. Is that controversial? Comment question of the day. Team Pepsi, Team Coca-Cola. Coke Zero, Pepsi Max. Let me know which is best. Coke Zero's the correct answer. So far, like the look of the stadium, it's got a cool aesthetic, right? I can't remember an away day that looks like this. I wasn't paying attention earlier. Can I see inside the stadium? Okay, there are limited dots. I'm going to hope that some of these are inside the stadium. They're just pictures of Domino's. They can't all just be the same picture of that. I'll tell you what, Domino's have got their marketing team on. It's every dot on the pitch just takes me to Domino's Pizza. What about this one here? This might be our last hope. Is it a good photosphere? I'll be honest, I've seen better. They might want to fix the black hole on the pitch. But in terms of the actual stadium itself, it's a cool looking stadium. You got the big hotel next door. You could sit up there and watch the game. Not sure about the red seats. Do Rosenborg play in red? I thought they played in black. I mean, they might play in red, and I just don't know. But it's got a unique character, a unique vibe, and that we appreciate on away days. 100 episodes in, we're still getting new vibes. I don't know if it's been mentioned, I'm a very vibey guy. There is actually a couple more dots. I mean, we might as well have a look at them and see if they're better. Here is the stadium on a match day. A little bit blurry, mind you, but it looks cool. It also looks like they changed the red seats to black and white. So they clearly listened to my criticism in the last 10 seconds. And we've got another equally blurry view from the opposite side where I can confirm they've changed the seats from red to black and white. But it's quite a steep stadium, isn't it? The seat is a big incline. I'm getting PTSD to when I did Sunderland away. If you've done Sunderland away, I don't know if the away fans still set up in the heavens. A lot of steps, quite steep. Still have trauma about it years later. Right, the Lerkendal Stadium. The outside of it looks cool. It's got a Domino's, unique character, snow, car parking on all sides. They've made the most of the space available. Or is that a Pepsi Max bus? Sorry, I've got distracted. There is a Pepsi Max. That can't be the team bus, can it? If that's the team bus, we need to work on our own team bus, I feel like. Can we get like a Pimp My Ride, but it's for football team coaches? That would actually be a very cool banging TV series. MTV. If you still exist, call me up. Today's been a long away day. I don't know how I'm going to edit it down. Lots of tangents, lots of distractions. Lerkendal, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 away day. Not loads going on the outside, but what was there, I loved. And it had a Domino's, so can you beat it? Not really. Now, worth noting, with the way the scheduling is working out, we have this game today, and then in a couple of days, we're taking on Arsenal at home in the league. Our home form against the big teams has not been good this year. Going to need that to turn around today. With that in mind, I want to set ourselves up for success. And with Champions League football, at least the knockouts, looking pretty much guaranteed regardless of the result today, and given the fact it is against one of the weaker teams in the competition, we are playing a rotated team for this game. You can see the team on display, parking up top. I kind of just want to try and give him a performance-boosting performance. To be fair, in the Champions League, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's done really well in this competition. It's just been the league where he's a bottler. Elsewhere, Hunt Jens is in the team. Özcan is going to be playing out on the left-hand side. Sulla, of course, on his left foot. In the midfield, Alunga, his contract's got not that long left on it, actually. It runs out in a year and a half. He's kicking up a little bit of a stink. Having signed him for £30 million, he's done a job as a squad player. This year, fallen even further down the pecking order. Might end up selling him in January, if not the summer. So, yeah, savour the performance of him today. Maybe he can put himself in the shop window. He's going to be playing alongside Perez, the 19-year-old, who, truth be told, is probably the reason why Alunga has been playing less first-team football this year. Perez, significantly younger, has only just turned 19. Really bright spot for the future. He's going to be playing in the defence. Elsewhere, McDonnell and Derhart in the wing-back areas. Flegard also keen to give this man some regular first-team football. He's played well when we've given him a chance. With Coppo suspended lately, Sebastian found himself in the team. He took that opportunity well. So for that reason, we're giving him the nod here. Okay, there's a kick-off highlight. Now, even with a rotated team, we are playing the 4-2-3-1, the more aggressive attacking system. And I go into this game with quite a lot in the way of expectations. This is the kind of game which, I mean, we've beaten Ajax 6-0 previously. I'd like to believe we can score 4 or 5 in this game. Like I said, it could be a really good confidence booster. Again, with this rotated team, it'd be great to get some of the less frequent starters minutes, but also a good performance under their belt. I see this game as an opportunity to do that. If we could score from kickoff, that would certainly settle the nerves. Of course, if they now score, just forget everything I've talked about for the last however many minutes. That's only just gone over. Okay, maybe I should have rotated the team less. I say that. We got a chance. Chapman, that is, it's just not a good set piece. Alunga, can you put a better ball into the box, please, mate? It's been all action in the first 3 minutes of this game. 2 highlights already. We've got another one here. Perez trying to pick out Chapman. Ball falls short. Bienti with them on the far side. Lays it back to the fullback. They're working the play down the wing well. You could say they're working the space, the 2 wide players. Looks like there is going to be a lot of link-up play between their wider players and fullbacks. Hopefully we're going to be up to the task of defending that as, well, for the second time in this game, they've had a chance. On this occasion, I think Wilford's made a massive stop there. But this isn't exactly what I wanted to see to start this game. I feel like we got over a hump lately. We've won our last 3 league games in a row, our last 3 games in all competitions. We should be confident for this one. That confidence has been taken down a notch. You know what? Shout, demand more. That's what's needed right now. Just get shouty. Halfway through the first half, 1 shot on target. Now, it was to us, to be fair, so we can claim that. Nothing is happening. Bienti with the ball for them. Going to dink it forward. Headed goalwards. Wilford. I don't know if he saved that or if that's hit the crossbar. Regardless of what's happened, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's 33 minutes in. There's been 3 highlights. They've had every single one. I'm not having fun. I don't feel relaxed. This is not what I wanted to see here. Sulla, cheer me up. Put a smile on my face. Turn my frown upside down. He takes it to the byline. He lays it to Bally Parkin. I got a smile. Force the smile. Everything's good. Everything's fine. I'm happy. He says, it has been a frustrating season so far, and it's been a frustrating start to this game here. We have moments of magic, games where we play brilliantly. I'd point at the 6-0 result against Ajax, even the result against Rangers last episode. We looked really, really great. But for all those performances, we just have games where we don't really show up. There's a degree of inconsistency that didn't really exist last season that appears to have crept into our game. I was hoping this game could be one where we could, well, like I already mentioned, put in a good performance, get a few players into some form. Still a chance for that, mind you. You know, if we get another goal here, Paul Parkin, thank you. I hope he's onside. If we get another goal here, you know, suddenly this game feels relaxing. Suddenly, those 3 chances they had early on, just in the back of my mind. Hopefully this is going to be onside here. It is going to be onside. It's 2 goals for Paul Parkin. Maybe he's just a Champions League striker. He doesn't rate the Premier League. You know, he plays for Man City, to be fair, so he knows which trophy is the harder one to win, having come through the Man City Academy. Maybe that's why he plays better in this competition. I don't know. Parkin's on an 8.5, Silla's on an 8.5, McDonnell, Flegard, Alunga all putting in good performances as well, and suddenly those chances they had early on, a distant memory. Great first half, was never in doubt. Well played, lads. At half-time, telling them I'm not happy, though. Okay, a couple of players unhappy. Sulla, And De Haar, look, I have faith in you. You can improve. De Haar's now happy. Alunga's confused. He'll be fine. It's probably my accent, to be fair. I know there's some non-native speakers that struggle with the thick English accent that I have. That's not really tied to any one part of England. It's a very generic kind of middle-of-nowhere accent. Parker, he's got a hat-trick. I've called him Parker there. It's Parkin. Maybe he's Peter Parker. Maybe he's Spider-Man. Probably not. It's 3-0. I mean, Cadman is Batman, so maybe Parkin is Spider-Man. Maybe my entire team is superheroes and I never realised. I can't wait for the Photoshops people are going to tweet me. It's 3-0. To be fair, Paul Parkin does sound like a rip-off of Peter Parker, doesn't it? It sounds like a spin-off. It's like, you know, the meme where it's like, we've got Spider-Man at home. Spider-Man at home. And then it's just Paul Parkin, bless. He's got a hat-trick and I'm just talking rubbish about him. I'm not sure if there's any players here who I'm going to want readily available for the Arsenal game. I guess Chapman might be a useful player. I'm going to take him off and bring in Alanis, who does need to build up a little bit of match fitness. He's still coming back from injury, having broken his back. That really does sound like a bad injury, doesn't it, when you say it aloud? Elsewhere here, you know what? Let's bring in Bellingham for Perez. Just give, you know, some minutes to players here and there. McKillop as well. McKillop can come on. McKillop, I've not played you enough this year. I'm sorry, my son. You get a chance here. Set piece. McDonnell over it. He is our best free kick taker who's on the pitch right now, which isn't really saying a great deal. And for a second, I thought we were going to get 4. I think it was Coppo's header. Hits the woodwork, leaves it shaking. And, well, I think the Rosenborg team are kind of shaking at the back now. We've been causing them absolute nightmares. Ever since they squandered those chances early on, we've been on top in this game. We've created significantly more. And we're continuing to ratchet up the pressure as Jude Bellingham is going to play it forward to Parkin. It could be his 4th goal of the night. Or maybe it's offside. The linesman stood there. VAR's going to check it. I hope he's onside. Is he onside? He is. It's 4 goals for him. Wish he'd saved some of these for the Premier League. I can't wait to not score against Arsenal. I can't. That's going to be fun and frustrating, isn't it? I mean, let's enjoy today. He's got 4. Do you spend £125 million on a striker to see him score 4 goals against Rosenborg? Not really. I'm not sure this is the kind of performance that's going to justify the price tag. But if nothing else, it's a reminder. He's 20 years old. He's got goals in his locker. We've just got to extract them from him somehow. Maybe if we played teams of this quality every week, we would see it more regularly. But we don't. I am, just to see out this game, going to slow down the tempo a little bit. Up the time wasting. Game is done here. Good performance. Would like the clean sheet. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of mission accomplished, I guess, with the Champions League. It's just annoying that we have performances like this and then the Premier League we lose to Norwich. I mean, no disrespect to Norwich, but that's a game that we should be winning. We lost that one 4-1. That was 2 months ago. I'm still thinking about that game now. I can't even enjoy good performances because of it. Who would have thought that Norwich City would just live rent-free in my head the season after we won the Premier League? But here we are. Okay, really, really good result there. I didn't quite realise it was going to qualify us for the round of 16 already. That means we are guaranteed a top 8 finish. And what it also means is that for the remaining Champions League games, I can kind of just rotate things around. Speaking of which, who have we got left to play? We've got Inter at home and then Barcelona away. I feel like we might not do the Barcelona away. I'm sorry to the away day fans, but the Champions League's wrapped up until at least the knockouts now. Paulie Parkin, you played superbly. Can you do that against Arsenal in the next game? That would be grand. That next game, by the way, against Arsenal, 3 days away. I'm going to rest up the players. We're going to try and dust ourselves down, come back for that one. We rotated the team for this match against Rosenborg. Part A of the plan done. Part B, beat Arsenal. Let's see if we can do that bit just as convincingly. Okay, this game against Arsenal was already rather big, but at the top of the table, Manchester United just lost against Liverpool, and elsewhere, Tottenham drew against Southampton, which, I mean, whilst it takes them to the top of the table, it's 2 of the teams that we're trying to hunt down, dropping points. This is a great opportunity for ourselves or Arsenal to close the gap on them. A win here, it'd move us up as high as 6th, although Arsenal would still have a game in hand. For this game, perhaps unsurprisingly, we got to go with the 3 at the back. Few things to note. Grasser coming back from a little knock, little injury, but I've got to chance him in this game here, even if he's not had too many games to play as of late. Unfortunately for us, Jamfi got injured a couple of league games ago against Aston Villa. Wasn't available for the last game. Still not 100% fit for this one. Failed his fitness test. So it does mean that De Haar's playing at left back, who, I mean, he's 19. He's going to get better. He's a very good wing back. He did get sent off recently, and that has dented my trust in him a little bit. You might have noticed Lemos demoted to the bench alongside Chapman and Marco Huntjens, and, well, you can see looking at the front three, I'm going with Cadman, I'm going with Alanis, I'm going with Parkin. Before Parkin scored 4, probably wouldn't have started this game, but he has just scored 4. Hard to look beyond that. Let's see if he can keep this hot streak going into the Premier League, where so far he's got 2 goals in 14. I need him to score today. Like ourselves, though, Arsenal were playing midweek in the Champions League. I'm going to hope that that's going to impact their fitness a little bit. We're taking on Zidane's team. Let's try and get a home result. Look at our recent form. Look at the 5 wins in a row all of a sudden. We're blooming massive. Just ignore the fact that at home, we failed to beat Tottenham. We failed to beat Chelsea. We failed to beat Manchester United. We've got to beat one of the big teams at home. Why can't today be the day? The answer, I suppose, is Arsenal are a good team. Their media prediction was second, ours was third. Both ourselves and them have not had good starts to the season. Both teams going to be keen to win this one. And, well, I want to say that reflects on the stat line. 20 minutes in, we've had 1 shot. Minor update, almost half an hour in, still only 1 shot in this game. It's not been good. I don't want to alarm anyone. No highlights in the first half. We've had 3 shots to their 0. For all the possession Arsenal have had, they've done nothing with it. I'm just going to tell the players I'm not happy. I mean, what do you say? I've not seen anything to comment on. So far, the only player with above a 7.0 rating is Beck here. So Mario Beck, he's clearly the menace who's just stopping anything from happening for us. Imagine if I play the whole game without a highlight. I mean, it's the 57th minute now. We're 15 minutes into the second half. Nothing is happening. I'm making subs. I've had enough. Paulie Parkin, I put my faith in you. You've let me down. I'm going to make a double change. Huntjens, Chapman, on you come. Probably not fair to blame the strikers for not doing anything. We've not really created a lot in this game in terms of chances for them to miss. And suddenly, there's 20 minutes left here. There's still not been a highlight. Okay, Pat. I thought we were about to have our first game of the year, I think, without a highlight. Good news, we've got one. We've got possession. Sweeney, Coppo, under pressure. Arsenal pressing, really high up the pitch here. Monteiro spreads the ball wide to Rios. Really nice play from us out of the press here. Dahar, forward to Chapman. Huntjens in the middle. So is Cadman. It's offside. The ball's in the back of the net, but it doesn't matter. Rios spreads the ball wide to Dahar. Can he get the ball back? We've been waiting a while for a second highlight. And, well, the first highlight. The second one's come quickly. And it could be another chance for us here. Cadman into the penalty area. Dahar, the left back. Archer, the right back. In the box. Hits it. Danny Archer, first goal of the season. It's been that kind of game where it takes the wing-backs setting each other up for us to score a goal. Cadman initially getting into the box, pulled it back to Dahar, and the left-back switches the play to Archer, who I thought maybe took one too many touches. In the end, though, he caressed it inside, opened up an angle, and he's tucked it away. With 10 minutes left of this game, Arsenal, you imagine, are just going to go for it. They're going to have to gamble for it. It may leave this game a little more open at either end. They've not created anything so far in this game, although given how this season's gone, this is the kind of game that we find a way to lose. I think about that Chelsea game last episode. I knew it. Correa scores. It's 1-1. I mentioned the Chelsea game last episode because in that game we took the lead just before halftime and suddenly we managed to concede 2 goals right away to be 2-1 down at half-time. Arsenal respond almost immediately. I don't know if I've shown their goal scorer Correa before. He's Uruguay's best player, so as you can imagine, he's been on my radar a little bit. Federico Correa, he's probably the best striker in the world. He's quite good. He is quite good, isn't he? 2 minutes left of this game here. A draw doesn't really do anything for anyone. A draw's almost worse than losing. Arsenal have had 1 shot on target. I'm scared to go more aggressive in attacking because, well, I feel like we had the better of the play and I didn't want to leave ourselves open after the bottling against Chelsea. But in the end, it's 1-1 and that is, I'm going to say now, probably the worst game I've had all season with this team. And that really is saying something. Not in terms of the scoreline, just in terms of entertainment value, which does happen to matter when you're doing a save game on YouTube. I can't believe after that result, Cadman's agent says, yeah, we want more money from my agent. Or my client, £165,000 a week, I think I saw him asking for. Have a day off, sack your agent. I mean, that result doesn't even really do us any favours, does it? We're still in 9th place. Now, like I mentioned, we're through in the knockout rounds of the Champions League now, so the remaining Champions League games don't really matter too much. In terms of the upcoming Premier League games, there's plenty of winnable games here. I'm kind of looking at that Tottenham game as a potentially important one. Of course, we could be in the Carabao Cup semi-final. There could be all sorts going on. I'm hesitant to plan too far ahead. All you need to know is, at the moment, I'm not happy with how this season's going. In some ways, though, it's nice. Often when you win your first Premier League title, the rest become a bit of a formality. I'm enjoying the challenge of this season. I'm enjoying the fact that things aren't quite going our way in a bizarre, kind of painful way. That said, if you are enjoying my pain and suffering, do make sure to slap a like on the video. We're going to be back again tomorrow with more Park to Prem action to end the week. Hopefully we're going to be back to winning ways. Unlike previous January transfer windows, because I spent all my money on a striker, whilst there is a really good balance, there's not a load of money to actually sign anyone in January to turn our fortunes around. So I'm not sure if you can expect any new signings. There's a positive to end on. That'll do, won't it? Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my pain and suffering. Let me know what you thought of the away day. Pepsi or Coke Zero, let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll be bringing back more of this Park to Prem show later. I've just changed my outro randomly of the videos. Maybe I should do that more often, just freestyle it. No. I didn't like it either.